Chapter 7. More on Visual Basic. About the chapter. Data types in VB. Variables. Declaration of variables. Assigning values in variables. Assigning value using input box command. Operators in VB. Arithmetic operators. Logical operators. Creating an application using operators. Control statements in VB. If then else and if control statement. Creating an application using if then else and if. For next loop. Creating an application using for next. Visual Basic is a third-generation event-driven programming language. It provides a variety of controls by which you can create interactive applications. In your previous class, you have learnt about some of the features of VB. Now, you will learn about more features of VB in this chapter. Data types in VB. The data types in VB refers to what kind of data it can hold and how it stores the data. They are applied to all values that can be stored in computer memory or the variables that are used in the evaluation of an expression. Consider the following table that shows the available data types of VB with number of bytes required for data. Data types required storage space. Byte 1 byte, integer 2 bytes, long 4 bytes, single 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, currency 8 bytes, decimal 14 bytes, string of fixed length, length of string, string variable length, length of string plus 10 bytes, date 8 bytes, boolean 2 bytes. Variables. The data values entered by the user are required to be stored in the memory of computer so that they can be processed. For this, we create named location in computer's memory to store values. These memory locations are called variables. The values stored in these variables can be used and changed as needed to get the desired output. Quick fact. Variables are temporary locations created in the main memory of the computer during the runtime. Rules for naming variables. You should follow these rules when you give the name of variable. The maximum length of name must be less than 255 characters. The name must not start with a numeric value. The name must not have any space in between. The period, that is a full stop sign, must not be put in between the name. Quick fact. There is a wide range of data types that are not used for calculation. Some data types of this type are string, date, and boolean. Declaration of variables. The dim statement declares variable by assigning them a name and data type. Before using a variable, you must declare it by using dim statement. The syntax for declaring variables in VB is as follows. Dim into angle brackets, variable name 1 as data type 1 in angle brackets, comma, variable name 2 in angle brackets as data type 2 in angle brackets, comma, followed by variable name n in angle brackets, comma, as data type n in angle brackets. Consider the following statements. Dim emp underscore name as string, dim joining underscore date as date, dim emp underscore age as integer, dim emp underscore code as integer, department as string. We can declare more than one variable of same data type. Example, dim x, y, z as integer or dim a, b as string. Commonly used data types in Visual Basic are data type, description, size. Char, used to store single character value ranging through 0 to 255, 2 bytes. Data, used to store data and time values, 8 bytes. Integer, used to store integer values ranging from minus 32,768 to plus 32,767, 4 bytes. String, used to store a set of characters instead of storing a single character, 10 bytes plus length of string. Assigning values in variables. It is just like let statement of QBasic, but the difference is that you cannot use let keyword in statements. Once the variable is declared, we can store a value in it. Format variable is equal to expression or value. This method assigns a value to the variable while writing the code. Example, z is equal to 14 or z is equal to x plus y or a is equal to Deepa in double quotes. We can also assign the value to a variable during the runtime, which is entered by the user. This can be done in two ways: by using text box control, by using input box method. Consider the following statements. Employee underscore name is equal to Ashok Kumar in double quotes. Emp underscore age is equal to 38. Sum underscore of underscore quantity is equal to value underscore A plus value underscore B. Assigning value using input box command. Using input box method, the value entered by the user in an input box is read and directly assigned to a variable. Operators in VB. Operators refer to the symbols that are used with operands, number or text to perform some mathematical operations. Visual Basic supports various types of operators. Some of them are operators, arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators. Arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used in calculations. Consider the following table that shows various arithmetic operators. Operators, description, examples, results. Plus or addition. It adds two values. 6 plus 4, 10. Minus or subtraction. It subtracts one value from another. 10 minus 5, 5. Division, slash. It divides one value by another value. 24 divided by 6, 4. Star, asterisk, multiplication. It multiplies two values. 11 multiplied by 4, 44. Slash integer division. It divides truncating decimal part from quotient. 15 divided by 2, 7. Mod, modulus. It provides the remainder after division. 25 mod 5, 0. Relational operators. The comparison is done with the help of relational operators. The condition of comparison is evaluated in the form of true or false. Consider the following table that shows relational operators. Operators, operators, functions, examples, results. Equal to. It returns true if operands are equal, otherwise returns false. 17 equals 17. True. Not equal to. It returns true if both operands are not equal, otherwise returns false. 10 not equal to 21. True. Greater than or equal to. It returns true if first operand is or equal to either greater than or equal to the second one. 15 is either greater than or equal to 17. False. Greater than. It returns true if first operand is greater than the second one. 20 is smaller than 30. True. Less than. It returns true if first operand is lesser than the second one. 10 is smaller than 21. True. Less than or equal to. It returns true if first operand is lesser than or equal to the second one. 13 is less than or equal to 17. True. Quick fact. And also operator is a logical conjunction on two expressions, which means that if expression 1 is false, then expression 2 is not evaluated. You can concatenate the text values in VB, just like in MS Excel. You can use plus or and symbol for this. For example, uni in double quotes plus verse in double quotes will give universe in double quotes a single string value. Logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine two or more conditions and return the net result in the form of true or false. Consider the following table of logical operators. Data type, description, examples, results. Or return true if at least one condition is true. 15 is greater than 10 or 7 is equal to 9, true. And return true if all conditions are true. 5 is greater than 7 or 15 is greater than 20. False. Not. Return true if condition is false and vice versa. Not. 5 is greater than 7. True. Logical operators. These are used for comparing two or more conditions and give result either in true or false. Operator. Function. Examples using variable x is equal to 400 and y is equal to 500. Output. And. It returns true if all the conditions are true, otherwise returns false. X is greater than 300 and y is less than 600. True since both the conditions are true. X is lesser than 300 and y is equal to 500. False as one condition is false. It returns true if at least one of the condition is true, otherwise returns false. X is equal to 300 or y is less than 600. True as one condition is true. X is equal to 500 or y is less than 500. False as both conditions are false. Quick fact. All variables are declared outside all the sub-procedure in the declaration area at the top of code window. Creating an application using operators. Let us create an application to learn the use of operators. Step 1. Create and design a form to create a simple calculator. Step 2. Declare variables and write the code for click event of each button. Public class form1 dim n1, n2, sum, diff, pro, co as integer. Private sub button 1 underscore click underscore 1 sender as object, e as events args handles bt sum dot click. n1 is equal to txt num1 dot text. n2 is equal to txt num2 dot text. Sum is equal to n1 plus n2. Message box into brackets num1 plus num2 is equal to in double quotes and sum. End sub. Private sub bt diff underscore click sender as object, e as event args handles bt diff dot click. n1 is equal to txt num1 dot text. n2 is equal to txt num2 dot text. Difference is equal to n1 minus n2. Message box into brackets num1 minus num2 is equal to in double quotes and diff. End sub. Private sub bt pro underscore click sender as object, e as event args handles bt pro dot click. n1 is equal to text num1 dot text. n2 is equal to text num2 dot text. n1 is equal to txt num1 dot text. n2 is equal to txt num2 dot text. Pro is equal to n1 multiplied by n2. Message box number 1 multiplied by number 2 is equal to in double quotes and pro. End sub. Private sub btco underscore click sender as object, e as event args handles btco dot click. n1 is equal to txt num1 dot text. n2 is equal to txt num2 dot text. co is equal to n1 divided by n2. Message box number 1 divided by number 2 is equal to in double quotes and co in brackets end sub end class. In the above code, the variables n1, n2, sum, diff, pro, co are declared as integers. The statements n1 is equal to txt num1.text and n2 is equal to txt num2.text assign the values entered in the text boxes to variables n1 and n2 respectively. The statements sum is equal to n1 plus n2, diff is equal to n1 minus n2, pro is equal to n1 multiplied by n2, co is equal to n1 divided by n2 have operators to do calculations and assign the resultant value in a variable. The message box method displays a message box with the result. Control statements in VB. Control statements are used for controlling the execution of program. If, then, else statement is used in decision making and loops are used for repetition. If, then, else statement. If statement is used for decision making and it evaluates conditions on the basis of relational and logical operators. When condition is true, then part is executed, otherwise else part is executed. The syntax of if statement is as follows. If in angular bracket condition, then VB statements in angular bracket, else VB statements in angular bracket, end if. Example. If val text box 1.text in bracket mod 2 is equal to 0, then label 2.text is equal to given number is even full stop in double quotes. Else label 2.text is equal to given number is odd full stop in double quotes. End if. If value of text box is an even value, then modulus operator will return true and the message will be displayed that number is even. If text box consists of an odd value, then modulus operator will return false and message will be displayed that number is odd. Do while loop. It repeats the enclosed block of statements while a Boolean condition is true or until the condition becomes true. The syntax of do while loop is as follows. Dim x as integer, do while condition in angular bracket, VB statements in angular bracket, loop. Example, dim x is equal to 2 as integer, do while x is less than or equal to 20, list box 1 dot items dot add in bracket x is equal to x plus 2, loop. The initial value of x is 2 and do while loop will be continued till the value of x will remain less than or equal to 20. Every time the value of x will be incremented by 2, the value of x will be added to list box as item. At last, following items will be added to list box as value of x. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. For next loop. It repeats a group of statements a specified number of times and a counter variable counts the repetition as the loop executes. The syntax of for next loop is as follows. For counter variable in angular bracket is equal to initial value in angular bracket to final value in angular brackets. VB statement in angular bracket next. Example, dim x m as integer, x is equal to 1 for m is equal to 1 to 10. List box 1 dot items dot add into bracket x is equal to x plus m. Next. The initial value of x is 1 and it will be added to list box in first iteration. For next loop will run 10 times. The value of counter will be added to x each time. The result is added to list box each time and will be shown as follows. 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, 16, 22, 29, 37, 46. Creating an application using if, then, else, and if. Let us create a simple application to test which number is greater among the two using if, then, else, and if statement. Step 1. Create the form as shown. Step 2. Write code on click of Enter button. Public class form1. Private sub button 1 underscore click into bracket sender as object, comma e as event args, bracket closed, handles button 1 dot click. A is equal to input box into bracket enter your age in double quotes. If A is greater than or equal to 18, then message box you are eligible to vote exclamation go ahead exclamation in double quote close the bracket. Else message box you are not eligible to vote exclamation sorry exclamation in double quotes close brackets. End if, end sub, end class. Step 3. Save and run the application. For next loop. A loop is a sequence of instruction that is repeated until a certain condition is reached. A loop allows us to execute statement or statements multiple times. Using for next loop statement, we can instruct Visual Basic to begin a loop by starting a counter from a specific value. Statements in this loop are executed and counter value is updated every time. The loop terminates when the counter value reaches the upper limit. Format for counter is equal to start value to end value in bracket step. Statements to be executed. Next. Example. Dim counter as integer for count is equal to 2 to 10 step 2. Message box into bracket count. Next. The counter value starts at 2 and executes the statement between for and next command. The value of count is by 2. Step 2 and the statement inside the for next are executed again. This is repeated till the value of count is less than or equal to 10. This will go the output as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Quick fact. Looping statements are also known as iteration statements. Creating an application using for next. Let us now create an application which reads a number from the user and generates its multiplication table. Step 1. Design a form and place a button control. Step 2. Double-click on the button and write code as below. Declare variables outside sub-procedure of button. Public class form1. Dim count, comma, num as integer. Private sub-button 1 underscore click. Into bracket sender as object, comma, e as event args. Handles button 1 dot click. Num is equal to input box into bracket with double quotes enter the number to generate its table. For count is equal to 1 to 10 step 1. Message box into bracket num and x in double inverted and count and equal to in double inverted and num multiplied by count. Next, end sub, end class. Step 3. Run the application. Quick fact. Text box is not only control that can display data from a database, many other controls in Visual Basic can also display data. Data grid control is one of them. It can be used to display the entire table of a record set of data. It allows users to view and edit data. Let's recall. The data type in VB refers to what kind of data it can hold and how it stores the data. The maximum length of name of variable must be less than 255 characters. Dim statement is used to declare the variables. You can declare many variables in one statement. Arithmetic operators are used for calculations. Relational operators are used for comparison. Logical operators use relational operators for comparison. Control statements are used to control the flow of execution of the program. If, then, else statement is used in decision making. Do while loop is used to repeat the task till the given condition becomes false. For next loop is used to repeat the task for a certain number of times.